Welcome to the Night Owl. Whether you're a first time visitor or you frequently visit the darker side of things, it's great to have you. If you want to stay up to date with us and even have a story of your own you'd like to share, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Discord. Send a DM. Let's chat. These stories will definitely keep you up, anyways. Welcome to the Night Owl, the meeting place, those things that keep you up at night. Content may contain graphic language and disturbing scenarios that I can assure you are not for the faint of heart, so listeners' discretion is advised. I'm your host, Isaiah, and if you're still with me, well, maybe you should lock your doors, check those windows, turn out the lights, and get as comfortable as you can. You won't be sleeping tonight. You've been warned. Moving to a new town can be scary, making new friends even scarier. And tonight's story features a tale of being a new fish in new waters. Who knows what's waiting for you? I give you Leaving a Trail. I feel like out here, camping is about as common as veganism. Everybody wants to be seen out in the wilderness, being one with nature and Zen. Which, if you ask me, kind of contradicts the purpose of being one with nature in the first place, but that's none of my business. Although I'm not above the idea of getting away at all, but not really knowing anyone out here to go camping with made it more of a fleeting thought than potential reality. But that had all changed recently. I met a couple people at this get-together. Some coworkers, they invited me to their dinner that they have once a month. It's a diverse group, I might add, but it seemed cool enough. My coworkers, they're very low-key, and I vibed with them pretty quickly, so it was awesome to already start making friends. As the night went on, people started leaving, and the group got smaller, until it was just down to myself, coworkers, and another couple. We should go camping this weekend. You down? The couple proposed. Yeah, sure. Where to? That's one spot we venture out to every now and then. I was down. The wilderness was calling me, and I was excited to have met some new potential friends. So, the weekend came. It was about 6 of us, so we just traveled up together. And it was a holiday weekend, which meant a good 3 days. No cell reception, no BS, just peace. Maybe a bear or two. So, we got the site, set up, and just hung out. A couple of people went to the cliff jumping point, while a few of us hung back. My coworkers' friends were pretty friendly, very eager to get to know me, though. I thought it made sense enough since I was the new guy, but it got interesting. They asked me about my family, kind of specific questions about my family, like how close I am to my siblings, will they follow me anywhere I go. Camp talk, I chalked it up to. The campground itself was rather empty, so we really had the space to ourselves. I still felt slightly out of my element because I didn't really know these guys or where I was, so the minor jitters, they were definitely a thing. As the day went on, it got darker, and it's as if the geography changed completely. That's how I made it up in my head. It was dark, I couldn't see much, and even the trails with our foot tracks disappeared. We hung around just to be safe. Ate, talked, even drank a little. It just mellowed out until we all went to bed. Now, there's always that heightened paranoia when you're out in the middle of nowhere. But I'm almost sure I heard something outside of my tent. I brushed it off and went to sleep. The next morning, we all decided to get up and just go for a hike. My coworkers' friends knew the area better than anyone else, so they decided to lead the way. I asked my coworkers how they knew these guys, and they said they just met them out one day, not too long ago, actually. They were at dinner and were approached by these two, and they've been buds since. Serendipity out here, I feel, is more common than anywhere else, so it kind of made sense to me and I just decided not to think much of it. But it was still in the back of my head. We hiked for a couple of hours, and the entire time it felt like something was on our trail, but keeping a good enough distance between so not to be noticed. I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to be that guy. And if no one else said anything, it must not have been anything, right? Fuck! I lost my water bottle, my coworker said. I didn't even realize I dropped it. We're close to camp, the couple yelled from ahead. All right. We weren't close at all. I left my phone back at site because I wanted the full experience, and since I didn't have reception, it was pointless, I thought. No posting a social for me, huh? A few hours later, exhausted, we get back to the campsite. We all unpack our things and just try our best to de-stress. I was wiped. I could barely feel my feet. My legs were spaghetti. I just wanted to lay down. But my coworker, he came and hung out near me. As everybody else was unpacking, we got to talking. Hey, kind of weird, but I felt like we were being followed the entire time. I was stunned. Me too, but I don't know by what, if it was an animal. No, not an animal. I was honestly afraid he'd say that. You'd think someone was on us? Possibly. We just left it alone. Obviously, neither one of us wanted to scare each other or the rest of the crew. So we just went back to packing and relaxing. As he was going back to his tent, all I heard was, "What the fuck? What happened?" My water bottle, it's here. Oh, well, maybe you left it here, his girlfriend said. No, I took it with me on the hike. She laughed it off, but he and I knew something wasn't right. The night went on, and we all sat around the fire just talking. About anything, really. I couldn't take my mind off of what my coworker and I had talked about. I kept stealing glances at him, and he seemed pretty pensive as well. As we were sitting there, I got that same feeling again, like we were being watched. There wasn't much that could be seen past the campfire, but I stared out into the woods, and I'm certain I saw what looked to be two eyes staring back at me, slowly moving closer. Hey, I nudged my coworker. You see that? No, what? I saw someone. He strained to see deeper, but he couldn't make anything out. What's it look like? Of course, when I looked back, I didn't see anything. Shit, I don't know. Maybe I'm losing it. All right, I think we're going to call it a night, he said. Same, the other couple stated. We head out early tomorrow. Everyone retired to their tents. But I took one last look into the woods where I saw those eyes. Nothing. I heard the same rustling I did the night before. I really assumed I was losing it, but to assure myself, I took a look outside. I felt like I shouldn't have. When I peeked out, I saw a figure slowly moving closer. I yelled out, "Chris!" That's my coworker. The figure started moving even closer. Hey, Chris! The tent Chris and his girlfriend were in opened. He stuck his head out. What's up? Who is that? We both froze. The other couples coming out of their tent broke the silence. And once that happened, whoever it was stopped walking towards us and scurried off. It was more than enough to know we had enough. We packed up everything and left that night. It was a quiet ride home. We explained as best as possible what we saw, but there wasn't much to explain. I knew I wasn't crazy, and I was glad Chris saw what he did, and also the water bottle situation that happened. They dropped me off first, and that was that. A couple weeks went by, and I became a regular at their dinners. But that other couple of theirs wasn't there. We haven't heard from them in a while," said Chris. Later that night, I got home, and my phone was blasting with alerts. It was Chris. He sent me a news article. There was a group killed at the campsite that we were at. And the suspects? My coworkers' friends. So there you have it. Tune in next week for another story that'll keep you up late at night. You can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher. And stay up to date with us. Love to hear from you. Sleep tight.